Belly fat is a huge problem when we reach over the age of 40 and at the time of menopause. And I'm going to go into the one thing that you can change to reduce your belly fat. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you, if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50, get in amazing shape. And we've all experienced this weight gain around our midsection. It's very unusual if you don't. It's completely normal, and I'm gonna go into why. And there is one thing that you can do, and it's not about doing keto diet, it's not about doing tons of sit-ups, it's not even about intermittent fasting or high intensity interval training, and it's definitely not about wearing a waist trainer. What is it? It's actually getting your nutrition dialed in. If you can get your nutrition nailed, just like I did, and that doesn't mean starving yourself and going on extreme diets, and I'm gonna show you in this video exactly how to do it, you can transform your waistline and have a slim waistline of a 20 or 30-year-old. Have you ever heard the phrase, abs are made in the kitchen? Well, that is absolutely true, and it's a phrase that's been going around for many years in the fitness community, but it actually really works for women around the time of menopause. So your nutrition is the main thing that you need to focus on, and it's going to absolutely be a game changer. And why is that? Well, the reason is a number of things have happened to your body. So what you did in your younger days, it doesn't work anymore, and that's exactly what happened to me. So when I was trying to lose weight initially and failing, what I was doing the exact same things that I did in my younger days, and I ended up carrying a lot of fat around my midsection, and it just didn't seem to shift. Going on really low calories, doing tons of cardio, it just didn't shift until I got my nutrition dialed in. And why is that? What's happened to our bodies, and why doesn't it respond in the same way? Well, I'm going to go into that, because once you understand that, then you'll understand my recommendations around nutrition. What's happening is your hormones, when you get to before even the time of perimenopause, so when you hit your 40s, your hormones are starting to deplete, and they're actually starting to go off a little bit. So you might find you have fluctuating hormones at this stage in life. And then around the time of perimenopause, menopause and postmenopause, your hormones are depleted. So if I didn't take hormone replacement therapy, my hormones would be depleted, because I actually had my blood work done and low levels of estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. So that's what happens to most women. Then you've got the challenge of having something called insulin resistance. And by the way, 80% of Americans are walking around with insulin resistance. And when you hit menopause, you're much more likely to have insulin resistance. And what does that mean? That means lots of health concerns, but also it's going to be much more of a struggle to lose weight. So you do need to address that insulin resistance through your nutrition. The other thing that's happened to your body is you've lost muscle mass, and you're generally losing muscle mass at a rate of 1% per year over the age of 40. So you can also address that through nutrition. So you need to throw out the notion of what you already know about going on a diet, and think about this as a way of eating that's going to support your hormone health, that's going to help you build and retain muscle, and it's going to tackle that insulin resistance. So I'm going to go into it now. The first thing I'm going to talk about is high protein eating. So what does that mean? That means eating 1 gram of protein per pound in your body weight, or if you weigh over 170 pounds, shoot for your goal body weight. So if you're a 160 pound woman, that means about 70 kilos, you will need to eat 160 grams of protein. And this is really, really high. And I know I get some comments where people say, well, it's not what the World Health Organization or whatever country they're in recommends. No, it's not, because they don't have a strategy for menopausal women. So we need to take in lots more protein, because what that's going to do is going to help build our metabolism. Your body's going to burn fat more easily, and it's going to support building and retaining muscle, which you've lost through the aging process. So getting enough protein in, I've made a video all about protein. I'm going to link it here so you can watch that, watch the types of protein, watch how to get enough protein in, that kind of thing. And you know, it's going to give you everything you need to know to do that. I also have another video which is actually how to calculate your calories and macros. So once you've looked at the protein video, you may want to actually understand about calories and macros, and that's your balance of protein, carbohydrates and fats. The next thing is carbohydrates, because I talked about insulin resistance. All this means is your body's hormone insulin isn't working properly. Your body finds it hard to regulate your blood sugar levels, and what that does is it leads to fat gain, and you're going to really struggle to lose weight, as long as a load of other health conditions, one of them being type 2 diabetes. However, if you get your carbohydrate right, that's eating the right kinds of carbohydrate, you can actually reverse insulin resistance. So that's avoiding or keeping to a minimum sugar, white flour, and instead going for carbohydrates like oatmeal, sweet potato, even white potato is fine, so that they don't give you huge blood sugar spikes. You can also take a supplement called berberine that's really going to help with that, and I've made a video all about berberine, and I've made a video all about the type of carbohydrate to eat. But basically you want to be going for whole grain complex carbohydrates. The third thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to your diet, and that is eating non-inflammatory foods. And the best way of understanding it is talking about foods that cause inflammation, because foods that cause inflammation are going to be harmful to your hormones, and you want your hormone health to be as best as it possibly can in the circumstances, given that you are going to have depleting and sometimes all over the place hormones. Some of the foods that you need to avoid that cause inflammation are lots of chemicals in your food, ultra processed foods, trans fats. You want to be going for the natural types of fats when you're thinking about fats, high fructose corn syrup, and even sugar that I mentioned before is going to cause inflammation in your body. So if you can start to avoid or at least cut back on those foods, you are going to start to see a difference in your midsection. And putting all those strategies in place, I know that with my own experience and the women that I work with in this age group, they find that they're actually losing inches off their waist in a matter of weeks by implementing this. So I promise you, if you implement this correctly, you are going to see amazing results. Now, I do have a free nutrition guide. I'm going to link it up here, and I'm going to link it in the description. So do download that. It's a free nutrition guide and sample meal plan. And let me know in the comments section if you found this video helpful, and if you're going to implement this. Maybe you've already implemented this and you're starting to see results, because I promise you, when you get your nutrition dialed in, it's going to be an absolute game changer.